change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Always looking for more. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you Why we always looking for more? 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 Why we always looking for
Well, a very good evening to everybody that's tuning in across Australia, New Zealand, and indeed right around the world. We are back after a 3-week break for round 6 of the Adrenaline GT Assetto Corsa Competizione GT3 Season 3. We have found ourselves over in Britain, on the side of the pond that our co-commentator finds himself from this evening. We'll get to him in just a second, but it is, of course, Donington. Very fast, technical, flowing circuit, narrow as well. It's going to provide an interesting challenge for our drivers this evening as we have 2 30-minute sprint races that lay ahead of them. My name, of course, is Isaac Fogarty. It's a pleasure to have your company with us this evening. And, of course, joining me, as always, in the booth alongside me is the Scottish warrior himself, John Wright. John, it's a pleasure to have you back. And, I mean, it's not quite Scotland, but we're a lot closer to you than we have been for the rest of the season, so it's nice to be over in your neck of the woods.
It certainly is. Good evening, Isaac. Good evening, viewers. I feel like at this point I should shout freedom just so we can get into the swing of things with the Scottish Warrior. Almost killed Isaac choking on his coffee there. But yeah, no, absolute pleasure to be back. It really doesn't seem like 3 weeks. It massively does not seem like 3 weeks since we were tearing our way around the Nürburgring in Germany, but we have hopped over the English Channel to the dark destroyer that is Donington. This track fills me with absolute dread. But I'm looking forward to seeing what the drivers can do around here tonight. Of course, I hide behind the microphone. They all grip furiously onto a steering wheel. And I think we're going to see, as much as this course fills me with fear, it really is a tester for the drivers. And we're going to see some seriously well-deserved winners coming out with this one tonight, Isaac, especially with the way the tyres are going to play out around this course. It's going to be an interesting end to both of the races, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Could not agree more. It's look, it's a pretty short lap around here, only just over 4 kilometers. And look, about a minute 26 really is the times we can expect to see this evening. So pretty quick lap. Matt Simmons breaking the lap record in practice. We haven't been at this track before, so the lap record has been set this evening as a 126.5. So not a long lap around here. 12 corners, and not extremely high, but it is a high tyre wear rating. One of the first times we've seen that this season, just because of the way the corners are cambered, especially in that first sector. It's very, very demanding. So how will drivers manage that across a 30-minute race? We'll find out. 2 10-minute qualifyings, the first of which just got underway, and we'll get down to that very shortly with 2 30-minute races in there as well. So our usual SuperSprint format, no pit stops required this evening. So look, a pretty straightforward SuperSprint round this evening, or we'd like to think so. Anyway, let's have a look at our driver standings. Obviously, German Grand Prix would have shaken things up a little bit. Josh Struick pulls away ever so slightly from Matt Denetti, doubles his points lead to 37 points. And that is the gap between first and second. Matt Simmons, after taking victory at the Nürburgring, moves up to third in the championship. Aiden Holton, who won't be here tonight, neither will Braden Henderson. Both of those drivers sit 4th and 5th in the standings. And then Simon Bishop and Max Silver both returning to the series this evening to try and salvage their championship seasons and get some points back on the board as they look to try and close back up to Matt Simmons in that podium position. As for our Pro-Am drivers, it is Bowen Piper still leading the way over Mick Toward in second, a 72-point gap between the two of them at the moment. Mark Hurley moves up into third, and Rowan Nicholson into fourth after the German Grand Prix. Rowan Green in fifth, then Peter Sargent and Felix Preslin finds himself inside the top 7 as well. Fairly competitive in our Pro-Am category right now. Looking at our teams, we have a new championship leader, and it is CP Motorsports 1. We know Simon Bishop at the German Grand Prix. It was a prime opportunity for CP Motorsports to jump them, and they certainly have done, with a 216-point advantage now in their favour for the reigning team's champions. Team XV Primer still sits in third, and BCG3 jumps up into position number 4. TTR Westside, and then CP Motorsports 2 with a great result from both Rowan Nicholson and Nathan Hutton jumped themselves up inside the top 10 into 6th. Nevertheless, they came from, I believe, 12th in the standings to jump all the way up into the top 10, which is a wonderful effort. Defy Motorsports maintain their 7th place, and Defy Motorsports 2 maintain their 8th place in the championship. Grimace Racing find themselves inside the top 10, and TTR Eastside move into the top 10 as well. It's fairly competitive in our teams and drivers championships at the moment, John. It's looking like we're getting to the pointy end of the season now, as we are. It's starting to hot up in terms of who's doing what in the championship, and drivers really starting to put down their best performances as we get to the pointy end of this season.
Indeed, yeah, we've reached and breached the halfway round of the season. Of course, last week, round 5, it's a 9-round series. We're up to round 6, and it's starting to settle itself in. Certainly, the drivers up at the front, what a display they've been putting on in the Porsches, the slippery Audi being tamed by a couple of the teams. For me personally, and I know this is a drum that I've been banging since the start, it's just great to see Riley Nicholson, for me, getting some results that he actually deserves. I'm not trying to show favourites or anything. I hate to see when good, honest, solid drivers just get themselves bad luck after bad luck after bad luck. A prime example for anyone that does watch the regular broadcast on TrackSpotTV, the name Jay Stern will ring a bell. If it wasn't for bad luck, he would have none whatsoever. I think 4 times this season he's been wiped out before turn 1 in an oval race. That's how much bad luck this guy's having. And certainly
bad.
Riley, for me, very bad. His only saving grace 2 days ago was we got a yellow flag 2 laps after, and he managed to get a lucky dog and get back on the lead lap. So he did finish that one. And it's great for me to see drivers like Riley Nicholson and those drivers in the middle of the pack really starting to come into their own, starting to finish races, getting themselves involved in battles. And as you just said there, they've jumped from 12th to 7th to 6th in the team standings there. So absolutely phenomenal performance by the drivers up at the front of the field. Certainly some absolutely immaculate displays from some of the drivers up at the front. But it's good for me as well to see these drivers in the mid-pack starting to gather some points, gather some momentum, and very much looking forward to seeing how the rest of the season plays out. I mean, on the calendar, yeah, we've got some great tracks still to come. Paul Ricard is going to be an absolute barn burner in a couple of weeks, but certainly for today, Donington, these mid-pack battles, that is very much what I'm looking forward to seeing today, Isaac.
Yeah, the mid-pack battles will be something to keep a very close eye on. We are just over halfway through qualifying, so let's jump down to the track and we'll check out what it looks like on the standings at the moment. Jump in with the man that's coming back after missing out last round, so he was not able to make the race at the Nürburgring. He was, I believe, at the Supercars event that was happening in Christchurch that weekend, so away from his sim rig and back in this week and already up to P2. So it's a 1-2 at the moment for BCG1, a 26.4 for Martinetti, which is actually the fastest anyone's gone all evening, and the fastest he's certainly gone all evening, and Simon Bishop 4 tenths away. Probably about a 26.9 for him at this stage, just on the edge of a 26 to a 27. Matt Simmons sitting in 3rd place. Josh Struick just jumped up to 4th from his qualifying effort as well. Max Silver on his return to the category in P5 as well, and then leading the Pro-Am class at the moment is Josh Gordon, another name who missed out on the Enduro race at the Nürburgring, as Josh Struick jumps right up behind Martinetti. That is very close. 0.05 of a second between the two of them. But it's great to see as Michael Tower jumps up into position number 4. It's great to see, John, these guys that we didn't get to see at the Nürburgring. They've come out straight away. Josh Gordon, Max Silver, Simon Bishop, and they've made statements with the times they're setting in qualifying.
Yep, they're keeping it quick, they're keeping it close, and those two up at the top, 5500ths. I mean, really, they're separated by no more than a £5 note there. That is absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, as you say, the drivers that weren't able to make it to the last race are already out laying down markers. We can already see, folks, of course, one of the most famous corners in motor racing, the Fogarty SS, even though it's a chicane. I'm still banging that drum. It's been 4 years. I'm still banging that drum.
You say the Fogarty S's? Is that what they're called?
The Fogarty S's.
Oh.
Yeah, the Fogarty S's, yeah. That's chicane, yeah.
That's close enough to my last name, I guess. That's my corner. We'll call those my S's.
We named it after you. We named it after you. We thought we'd...
I thought so.
Yeah, it must be nice to finally be in a country that knows how to pronounce your name correctly as well. I'm amongst my people once again. No, it's look, I'm still learning all the corner names, but I never knew that. So there you go. It's the more you learn. But it's looking. It's even closer out there. Now look at that gap between Struick and Zanetti. He's gone faster again, but still not fast enough to knock off the Audi. Look, Matt Zanetti, he's very candid in how he feels about this car, and he said time and time again that he's here to have fun, but he feels frustrated with the way this car's been for this round. He hasn't been able to get it into the setup window that he likes. He's been struggling. It's been too loose. It's been too stiff. He doesn't really know what to do with it, but it seems now that he's actually gotten into a window where he's quite happy with it, because a 26.4, again, the fastest he has certainly gone all weekend, and if I'm not mistaken, is the fastest that someone has done this evening in the server. So he's hooked that Audi up, and he is quick right now. He is, yeah, absolutely. That thing, he's just gone a little bit quicker. He's stretched that gap. ever so slightly. It's getting back to a gargantuan half a tenth of a
Wow,
second,
very
folks.
wide.
That is how dominant. Oh, no, there he is. Yeah, and that's what happens when you set a quick time. You think to yourself, right, I can push it a bit quicker. Nope, turn one says absolutely no chance. There's Hurley crossing the line. The best performing Ferrari so far. Forza Ferrari, he's up in 11th position. Some quick times coming in still up at the top. Simon Bishop only exactly 3/10 off the pace, with Bowen Piper 3/10 further back. So the gaps up at the top very close indeed. The top 10 only separated once again by a second, Isaac. They do keep it close, but of course, as a famous man once said, I think his name was Double O Raven, qualifying is vanity. It's finishing position in the race that is very much sanity. And I know I've stolen that from Dragon's Den before everyone jumps on the bandwagon. Yes, thank you very much, Big Peter. But yeah, no, as they say in business, profit, turnover is vanity, profit is sanity. And in racing, certainly qualifying is vanity. Yeah, I took pole position. But did you win the race? And it's going to be race trim. That's going to be the important thing. Dernetti can get it round quickly over one lap. Can he do that? Over 2 30-minute laps, where he's got these two Porsches who we've seen, Isaac, they are insane in the race. And Struik and Simmons at the moment, they are all over the back of their netty, with Bishop there sandwiching. So it's going to be the race start here. And Riley Nicholson,
Oh, look at
he's
Riley,
up
jumps
fifth
up.
place. Let's go!
He jumps up into 5th. Max Silver can't improve at the line. What has Josh Struik got in the tank? He comes to the final corner. Will it be an improvement for our championship leader? Out of the final hairpin now, accelerates the car towards the line, and he does. He goes to the top with a 26.39, so he displaces Matt Donetti by 0.05 of a second, moves to the top of the field. We still have a couple more cars to cross the line here. We got Rowan Green crosses the line, not able to improve that time, and his teammate Xander Stewart about to cross the line. What can he do his time? And he jumps up to 19th place in the end. So what a qualifying session. Josh Struik at the death, getting that done. First, the fastest sectors being shared around there. So it's Josh Struik from Matt Donetti, Matt Simmons, Simon Bishop, then Riley Nicholson and Bowen Piper. Riley Nicholson with that Pro-Am pole position in P5. Michael Toward, Josh Gordon and Max Silver both on their returns inside the top 10. Peter Sargent gets the last spot inside the top 10 with a very, very good 27.6. It's a bit spread out around here this evening, but that's to be expected with a track like Donington. The times, the nature of this circuit means the times may be a little bit more spread out. Mark Hurley, James Barton, who I understand is racing with a couple broken ribs this evening, so that's never easy when you're in a sim rig, you're in the seat and you're trying to steer around with broken ribs. Yeah, he wasn't going to race this evening and then sent me a message a little while ago and asked if it was okay if he jumped in. I said absolutely, but we didn't want him to push himself, and we hope that he's okay and he's recovering well, but sim rig, that's certainly going to push him tonight, so we'll keep an eye on him this evening and how he goes. But P12 in qualifying, not a bad effort with some broken ribs. This is Dale Hagstrom. He's brand new to this series, filling in tonight for Aidan Holton. CP Motorsports desperate to hold on to that championship lead, and they're running a second car with Hagstrom jumping into the series tonight, and he's qualified in P13, which is not a bad effort at all. Nathan Hutton in 14th. Lachlan Dawes is back tonight as well. He's in 15th. Daniel Wood in P16. Ben Sayers, Andre Sheppers, and then it's Xander Stewart and Felix Preslin rounding out your top 20. Adam Joy is back in the series finally. It's great to see him for the first time in Season 3. Obviously a very big staple. Season 2, we do love Ferbs, as he's affectionately known, but it's great to see him back in a car this evening in a Mercedes. Says he's for CST BFO, but he's actually filling in this evening for Team XV and Braden Henderson, who wasn't able to make it tonight as well. So he's in the Team XV Primer Mercedes. Then it's Max Honeybum, Nathan Lee, Bob Norley in 24th, Les Sandwith, Rowan Green, Wayne Tanner, Matt Boyd, and Guy Farmer rounding out a 29-car field, which I think for Donington, John Wright, is actually a fairly big field.
I think you're going for the title of King of the Understatement there. You know Leary won't be happy. Yeah, any more than 2 cars around this track is absolute insanity. It is an absolutely quintessential British racecourse, built back in the 1930s on an old airfield that's been saved more times than Imola, and it is the tightiest, twistiest, the most undulating track you could expect. It definitely gives Brands Hatch a run for its money, and the drivers are going to be put through their paces tonight. I did say at the start, we're going to see some well-deserved winners around here tonight. If you get to the end of this race, you're deserving of whatever points that you bring home, because some of these corners here, of course, the old hairpin on lap 1 into Starcase Bridge, that is going to be an absolute hotspot. It's where the leaders are just coming down to now. So of course we've got this little left-hand twist here that takes us down the hill. It's called Hollywood, and we'll see some overtakes there, but this right-hander here, this old hairpin, heading up towards the old train bridge on the left-hand side here, Starcase Bridge in fact. This is going to be an absolute hotspot. I have come a cropper through this corner more times than I would care to mention. It's a tricky one, and then just as you breathe a sigh of relief, you start heading back up the hill. You've got a little kink to the left, and then that very, 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 very tight right-hander through McLean's and up the hill through the unsighted apex that is Coppice, and then you've got to get through Starcase and Fogarty's. It is an incredibly difficult lap. The tyres are going to be absolutely chewed, Isaac, and the drivers, as I say, even for 30 minutes, they're going to have to be absolutely on the ball lap after lap, because this is one seriously unforgiving courses. It's one of those ones you almost wish the walls were a bit closer, because if you do make a mistake here, you end up in a separate county. There's that much runoff in some areas. Just is so hard to keep the car between the Mayo and the Mustard and get it back on track if you do make a mistake. So the drivers absolutely on point all the way, and they're doing that with multiple cars around them. As you say, it's going to be close, it's going to be tight, and it's going to be yeah, as I say, some well-deserved winners that walk away with the top spots here.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I'm really keen to see what happens when we get underway very, very shortly. I just did a little bit of research, John, because I was, while you were talking us through what to expect at a lap here, and it's spelt the exact same way, Fogarty. So that is, I swear, folks, I didn't know about this beforehand. I didn't pick this track on the calendar just because it had a corner named after me, I promise. But that is a very cool piece of trivia that I'm going to start to use in everyday life, because that's not something you get every day. It's a corner with the same name as you. But I digress. We'll move on. We'll no doubt come back to that later on. But we now have a race start not too far away as they round the final corner. Antonetti and Josh Struick off the front row. First and second in the championship. Third in the championship is also sitting in third. So it's a 1, 2, 3 in terms of our championship order. Who will come out on top tonight at Donington? We have a green flag and we're away. Everyone spreads out straight away. Looking in the background, Max Silver getting on the grass early as they come into turn 1 for the first time. There's TTR, Aston Martins around the outside. Multiple cars side by side through turn 1, but it is Josh Struick in front. As we run down the hill, the top 5 remains unchanged as we cross the first of the timing lines. Don't have to go too far around here to get an update on our order. And there it is on our screen, folks. On the dirt. Who was that that's on the grass? I think that was Antonetti. Trying to find a way past the race leader. He's desperate to get past. He knows that there is a chance Josh Struick could disappear into the distance here, as he always does. And if he's going to get a move done, it has to be done early.
Yeah, he's going to be looking to get that done early. He needs to hang on to the race lead. You can see the gap already from Struick to Dernetti is half the gap between Dernetti and Simmons. These two very much looking to tear away with it. Will the tyres survive the first lap? Oh, there's no tyres on this iteration of the course. They've changed that. Well, that's a bit boring, ACC. You need to bring them back. But certainly the tyres there. And he's going to have a look up the inside into the penultimate hairpin. I think he's got this one done. And I think we're about to see Matt Simmons with a free place here as well, Isaac.
Well, Dernetti, there's a little bit of a touch between himself and Struick, so Dernetti's redressed that to avoid creating an issue later on, and now he's going to go for it again, the over-under. He went wide into the braking zone. Struick was compromised, trying to go defensive, and he got caught on the outside, and Dernetti tried to drive underneath him, but he wasn't quite able to. He dives to the outside at turn 1 to go the long way around. We've seen them do it in the British Touring Car Championship, but it's not quite as effective. He's loose on the grass. He got on the curb, and here comes Matt Simmons to invite himself into the party. It is all happening here, folks. Matt Dernetti now back around the outside of Struick. He's still there. They touch it. He's off onto the grass. Dernetti is into the weeds. He has to get this car back on. He'll have to do it safely without connecting anyone. He's actually into the wall. So he's been caught into the wall, and that is Danetti done for race number 1. You would have to imagine he's going to gas it up, get it out of the wall and back onto the circuit, but he will be stone dead last. And I am sure that there will be some sort of steward's investigation into that later on. Struick has lost places, which means that Matt Simmons now leads this race from Simon Bishop, from Riley Nicholson, who is onto the podium at this start. What a race start, John. And oh, it's still going on. Here comes Simon Bishop on the back of Matt Simmons. He's actually trying to go around the outside in the braking zone, was heavier on the brakes to try and get that car pulled up and ahead, but wasn't able to make that stick. What is happening here, John? We've had no school for 3 weeks. We come back and all of a sudden it is every man for himself. The gloves are off and we are racing like nothing ever happened.
Oh, yeah, it's absolute full elbows out. Absolute 100% commitment from the drivers here. As we see, Danetti did go off into the wall. The top 3-4, though, it's still completely unperturbed. There's an absolute monster battle going on as well down in 15th position. Hagstrom in 13th. He has got himself an absolute train behind him. He is sandwiched in the middle here. And as you can see there, as they head down out of turn at number 1, it is very close here as well in the mid-pack. And Sandwith as well down in 21st. He's got himself a whole Bowen Piper-sized headache. As a lot of grass gets kicked up there by some of the other drivers going through. But you can see there, Sandwith, Piper, Green and Presland absolutely on top of one another. Norley leading that little pack. So they're forming into these little battle groups here, and battle will be commencing at every single apex. The drivers looking to try and find any chink in the armour of the drivers ahead of them here. The drivers up in front, oh, and they really are taking some curb in there. That is on the way up through McLean's. That is not a corner you want to be messing with. You really need to make sure your Coppice entrance is absolutely on point for the unsighted apex. As we see Sandwith heading through Isaac's spiritual home now. We're never going to hear the end of this corner being named after him, I can tell. But certainly they are battling away down into the final 2 hairpins. As we can see, that looks like Presland going for a move up the inside on Green. Is he going to be... Wow. I was going to say, is the Mercedes more nimble than the McLaren? Surely not. No, it wasn't, but the Mercedes absolutely hanging on to that one there. So yeah, the battles right down through the field, ultra competitive all the way down through the field today, and it's going to go on into turn number 1 here as Piper looking to defend from Green and Presland. It's absolutely all kicking off because yeah, just up ahead again. Oh, that's a lot of gravel coming up there, Isaac.
Here we go, side by side in front. That's Sandwith and Piper. Piper manages to get the track position before they get to the timing line, so that is sorted. Bowen Piper back up into 20th. He's on a recovery drive as well. Matt Danetti, where is he? He's 25th now, so he's worked his way back from last, but has a big ask ahead of him with 24 minutes remaining in this race. He certainly has the pace. He just needs to have the patience to try and move forward here, which I'm sure he will, but there will be some frustration after that incident with Struick, no doubt. Everyone I think there was a little bit of elbows out from everyone in that situation. It was all happening, all kicked off at the back end of the first lap when there was a bit of contact between Danetti and Struick. Danetti, redressed that, and then continued on all the way down towards the bottom of Sector 1. And unfortunately for Danetti, it ended in absolute tears, but it's still going on at the front of the field here. We've got Hagstrom trying to find a way past Dawsey, and as a result, Hutton now invited up the inside on his stablemate. And this is a welcome to the series for Hagstrom. He's brand new, and he's certainly in the thick of it at the moment. He's got multiple cars bunched up in front of him, multiple cars bunched up behind him. He is in the sandwich of about 7 or 8 cars here, all vying for a spot inside this top 10. It starts with Daniel Wood and it runs all the way back to about Sheepers and Stewart in 14th and 15th, and Hutton is very desperate to find a way past the Porsche at the moment.
Indeed he is, yeah. Everyone looking to get that all important track position around here, and that is absolutely vital around this course. What we'll do though, Isaac, if we jump up to 4th place, because I think Riley Nicholson is having himself a bit of an issue here, and it is a Max Silver sized issue, and Nicholson leading the way in the Pro-Ams on the overall podium, but Max Silver in the Nissan, and we've seen how quick Silver is around here. He set the quickest time in Sector 1 by almost half a tenth, which is a sizable gap around one sector around here, I can tell you that. And Silver very quick in the Nissan. This is where his car is going to absolutely come to life after this hairpin here, and it's going to be Nicholson that's going to be on the full defensive, although Bishop might be on the full defensive as well from Struick up there in second and third. The Struick is setting the fastest lap of the race into turn number 1. It is Max Silver chasing the Pro-Am leader. Let's see what he can do. As I mentioned, yep, he is the quickest driver in sector number 1, so I expect him to get very close through the old hairpin, although Nicholson having absolutely none of that. He gets a whirl of an exit from the first corner and into the old hairpin and towards Starcase Bridge. The two of them running the curves as wide as possible, and they will maintain their current positions. Struick maintaining a good look at the back of Bishop's car, and there's still absolute battle packs right through the field. You can see just how close these two are, but no one close at the moment. Isaac to one Matt Simmons. He is once again doing very Matt Simmons things, and he has taken this lead. He's taken this race, taking the bull by the horns here effectively, and he's got himself 1.6 seconds up the road while the rest of the field scrapped. Over the scraps he is leaving at the table. He is having his little winning banquet on at the moment. Trying to see who else. Apologies as well, folks. Some technical issues means I don't have my own individual view of the race this week, so we're limited on replays. But yep, Isaac has just clocked on to what I was looking at there, and that is this battle here, Isaac. This is still going absolutely hammer and tong here. Hutton looking very quick in that group of cars there. Hutton, yep, absolutely all over the back of this. And he's got Hagstrom just ahead of him, Shepherd's and Tower just behind Tower. With a different start to the race for him, he's dropped down a couple of positions, but he is certainly very much in touch with this group that he's got in front of him, Isaac.
Yeah, he certainly is. We had a little bit of look in the background. That's Towered on Sheepers. Find a way past, and yeah, this little group. This is the thing now. Everyone's getting into a rhythm. Everyone's starting to find a flow with the tyres up to temperature, and what that means is that it's becoming a little bit of a, not a car park, but maybe just a stalemate at this stage. We're 10 minutes in of a half an hour race, so 1/3 of the way through, and as I say that, here goes Hutton up the inside on his teammate. He opens the door and gets that move well and truly sorted. It was a lovely overtake from Hutton, but I think those are the things you're going to see. If a driver makes a mistake, there'll be an opportunity for the door to open, but everyone that's just sort of racing at pace at this stage, it's going to be very difficult to get an overtake done. A nice run through the, what I'll call the me S's. The nice run through the me S's will get you to the hairpin in a good state. And you can see here there's a Mercedes in Shepherd's alongside Hagstrom now up the inside. We'll get this done. Hagstrom has a look at the switchback, but Shepherd's has parked that car beautifully, and a great overtake. And now Toward is actually thinking about a look. Oh, but he dropped off there next to the hairpin, which was strange. But Hagstrom getting his ears boxed a little bit here at the start. Dropped a couple places on that lap from 11th down to 13th at the line. It's 7 laps down, and Matt Simmons leads the way over 2 seconds now back to this little battle with Struick and Bishop for second and third. Josh Struick with the fastest lap of the race. Then it's Nicholson and Max Silver for 4th and 5th on the road. Nicholson leading the Pro-Am class at the moment. Then it's Josh Gordon, and James Barton with fractured ribs is in 7th place. That is an absolutely mega effort from the Nissan driver. I think fractured ribs hurt at the best of times, John, but to be doing it in a sim rig and still be as quick as he is, he has a little bit of a moment there, but to be as quick as he is in 7th place, that is a phenomenal effort.
It's absolute insanity. I don't have personal experience of having broken ribs, but my daughter, due to surgery, has described to me the pain of a healing rib cage, and it is just astronomically horrifying. It's one of those things, if you hurt your ribs, you hurt your neck, everything you do, you soon discover goes through those ribs. So if you can imagine just tensing up and trying to turn the steering wheel, I hope he's got his force feedback turned as low as possible, because every single corner we watch him, I can actually feel my ribs pulling a little bit. It must be absolutely agony. So it's a Herculean effort that he's putting in at the moment, and a really, as you see, a really solid effort to be running very convincingly in the top 10. We're on board now though with Hutton in the Aston Martin. He's got Shepherd's behind him in that Mercedes, looking very quick. Hagstrom as well, the reserve driver, having a very good showing indeed. Currently running in 13th place and stuck, or in this, very much entrenched in this battle just outside the top 10. And in fact, this is going to be for top 10 positions, because it is Wood that is leading this little pack, and Dawes. In fact, sorry, it's Dawes in 9th that's leading this little pack at the moment. They've got 3 seconds up to 7th place. So Barton looking a bit easier in his rear view mirror than any of these drivers. Oh, certainly are. Well, that's a lot of care to take in an Aston Martin. But let's move swiftly on to the drivers. It really is very bold. Very bold indeed. But Hutton at the minute, as I say, yeah, he is sandwiched right in the middle of this little group here. One slip by any of these drivers, they're going to find themselves losing a lot of positions. And this is a course where it is very easy to have one of aforementioned slips as it gets through the Fogarty S's very nicely. Although it's a chicane, it's not an S. Can we please get that fixed? The track makers, thank you very much. That's one that's annoyed me for years now.
I'll email Donington management and have them change it.
Good man. Hello, my name is Isaac Fogarty. You have besmirched my name by calling it the Fogarty SS. Please change it to the Fogarty chicane. Thank you very much. Somewhat that's how that'll read.
Yep, and I'm sure they'll be more than willing to accommodate that. We can see here. Sayers has actually just gotten past Guy Farmer, so Sayers up into 24th position. For those playing along at home, Matt Donetti back up to 15th place in this race so far. So the recovery drive is going well. He's now got a little bit of time before he actually catches this group that we've been following fairly closely, that's led by Daniel Wood. So once he gets to the back of Coward, passing this group of cars means he'll be well and truly inside a shot of getting the top 10 here. So you can see him there floating in the background. He has some work to do, but the way these guys are battling, I'd say it's a matter of if not when, sorry, a matter of when, not if, he gets to the back of these cars. Gives himself hopefully enough time to get past them before this race is over. See here, top 10 looking further afield. Josh Struick still on the back of Simon Bishop. Hasn't let him go, but Bishop, again, as long as you don't make a mistake around here, John, it's probably quite difficult to pass a car that's similar pace to you. There's no real major heavy braking zones, maybe the hairpin after the Fogarty S's, but other than that, there's not really a high-speed heavy braking zone that you can set yourself up in.
Correct, yep. As I mentioned earlier, this course is very, very tricky, and it's for many, many reasons, although just as we say that, Stuart trying to send it up the inside of turn number 1. He's given himself a chance here through the old hairpin, potentially. But no, as you say, there's no absolute standout overtaking area through here. You really need to work hard, and again hope that the driver ahead makes himself a little bit of a mistake, which again is very easily done around this course. Very easily done around this course. So it's absolute battle plan to try and get the overtake done, again relying on the driver ahead, as well as using as much inside curve as you can. Struick not messing about through Coppice there, the unsighted apex. Oh, sand within the pits. Massive
damage to that Team XV BMW, so that explains why he is in the lane. This will put him a lap down, unfortunately, but there is huge damage to that car, so he unfortunately will drop to the back of the field and drop a lap down, which is disappointing. It hasn't quite been the season I think Sandwith would have wanted, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll see him start to bounce back very, very soon. Just keeping it, for those keeping up at home, Donetti is actually closed right up to the back of Hagstrom now, so Donetti all over the back of the Porsche. The Porsche that is the team he's doing battle with in the championship, so that's the CP Motorsports Porsche in front of him, is being driven this week by debutant Dale Hagstrom. He now has to try and find a way past. This will drop Hagstrom to 15th if and when this move is done. Coward's actually dropped away from Sheppers, Hutton and Wood in front as well, so he's starting to drop off a little bit here, which is not great for Zanetti. I think he was maybe hoping these cars would all stay together a little bit longer while he caught up, but he's actually wasted no time at all at closing in those 3 seconds, which just shows the pace he has in clean air. He is pushing this car to the absolute limits, looks for a way past as they run down towards the old hairpin, but not able to make anything stick on that occasion. It's a very tricky part of the circuit to get an overtake done. We've touched on multiple times, receiving a drive-through for Josh Gordon. So Josh Gordon has found himself in the ire of the stewards. They're not happy with him. He's breached track limits one too many times and finds himself now with a drive-through penalty, which is going to put him right down the back of this field. And that is unfortunate for the man that was running 6th on the road and 2nd in class. Very, very frustrating indeed. This battle's still going on for the podium, and I suspect that it will for some time. Lachlan Dawes right in behind Daniel Wood now. So Lachlan Dawes has made a mistake somewhere. See the dirt on the front of his car. He goes up the inside of Wood into the hairpin, but he goes too deep, and Wood will drive back underneath him. Hutton's also trying to get his nose up in there to invite himself inside the top 10. This is what Toward needs behind as well. A great opportunity for him to make up some time with these three slowing each other down in battle, but there's a mistake that's come somewhere from Dawes, possibly through the Miesses, which has unsettled that car a great deal. Zanetti's now up into... Oh, Sheppers is off the road. Sheppers has made a mistake somewhere, dropped a handful of positions. The drive-through is now cleared for car 25, and he will come out behind these guys. So into 17th place as he drops behind Adam Joy. So that'll be 17th, from 6th to 17th, so 11 positions lost there for Josh Gordon. That is a huge loss in terms of positions. Matt Zanetti now moves into 12th place with Toward, Hutton, Dawes and Wood. So this battle that is on your screen at the moment is the next group of cars up the road for Matt Zanetti, and these guys are not concerned with anyone else but them at the moment. They are trying to settle this spot, or this battle for the last spots in the top 10.
Indeed are, yeah. They will be, not a jot given of care to anyone around them, even if it is one of the championship main protagonists trying to get their way back through. They are very much fully fixated on the battle that they've got themselves. The battles up at the front starting to quell themselves a bit. Riley Nicholson still leading it in the Pro-Ams. He's now got 2 seconds behind them to Max Silver. So Silver unable to keep pace with the Pro-Am leader. He's looking for a personal best result here, and it would be a well-deserved result. Class win in race 1 and an overall top 5, which is not too shabby at showing. We've got this battle here. This is for the final podium positions in the Pro-Am. So as much as we've got some of the pros catching up, Wood in the pack there, he is certainly, well, wrong place, wrong time, because as I say, that is a battle for the Pro-Am podium he's got ahead of him, and neither of these drivers will be keen to let anybody sail on through. Dawes, Hutton, Toward and Zanetti right on the back of this group. And I tell you what, Isaac, this could be one of these opportunities where, almost like in multi-class racing, using the traffic around you to your advantage. We all know that Zanetti has got the next 4 or 5 drivers ahead of him banged to rights for pace. Can one of them use his I'd say expected overtakes in the next few laps?
Oh, here we go.
Use that to their advantage. He's going for it, yep.
He's wasting no time at all up the inside of Tower. A very interesting choice of overtake location, but this is Matt Zanetti. He does not wait around. He wants to get this done and move through the field, through the Fogarty S's now. Across the curbs, a lot of curb uses down. We got it in the front. Lachlan Dawes is going for it, trying to find a way. He's weaving back and forth across the track, try and fake out and get, Andre Sheppers with the drive-through now, but try and fake out Daniel Wood, make him have to make another move, a defensive move, but was very awake to it and very aware. This is Matt Zanetti now on the bubble of the top 10, so 3 cars in front of him are all inside the top 10. This could be 8th place if he can clear all 3 of them. Andre Sheppers will drop down the field. He has to serve that drive-through within the next 3 laps, and that is very unfortunate. He's straight in to do it right away. How far down this field will he drop as he slowly traverses the pit lane? And there we go. I believe I may have been kicked from the server. I absolutely have. This has happened a couple times, and it means that we can't keep an eye on the action that is happening in the fields. I don't know, and has sent me a message saying they've been disconnected, which means that I believe the race is still going on, folks, which is a very good thing. We will get this sorted ASAP.
Yeah, technical issues. Doesn't matter whether it's IRL driving or sim driving. There's technical issues can happen at any point to any part to anyone that's taken part in the server. And of course, it would be the week that the HDMI port on my PlayStation has decided to pack up. So once I've taken a hammer to that and taken it into the shop to get fixed, we'll have normal service next week. But as Isaac furiously panics in the background, it's like a swan. I can assure you, I've been in Isaac's position far too many times. Thank you very much, ACC servers. But yeah, certainly as he panics in the background to try and bring us the action, we will get you the remainder of this race. And remember, folks, we've got another 30 minutes race to come as well. We've got another qualifying session to get through and another 30 minutes around the 2.5 miles that is the Donington Park Grand Prix circuit. And yes, it is a Grand Prix circuit. F1, haha, they've been here. Could you even imagine? So much fun around this course. And it's actually a very good course in the open wheelers as well. But of course, it is the GT3s of AGT that we're here for today. It's been an absolutely enthralling opening to the race. Of course, we'll see when we rejoin where Matt Dernetti is, if he's made it back up. He will certainly have a point to prove in race number 2. We've got Struick, who's been leading the way and very much doing Struick and Simmons things up at the front. There was a two-way battle for the final podium positions in the Pro class. And, of course, Riley Nicholson leading the way in the Pro-Ams. He had a Pro driver behind him. And then the final 2 Pro-Ams on the podium a bit down the road. So he is looking pretty comfortable at the moment, or was looking pretty comfortable, or as comfortable as you can be around a circuit as deadly as Donington. I mean, it's no Oulton Park, but it's certainly right up there, that is for sure. And of course, put back together in 1931. This course was put together. It didn't take its current iteration until about 1986. That was when most of these corners were added. Of course, the Fogarty S's were added in 2010 in deference to the motorcycle rider, whose first name escapes me, which is Carol Fogarty. My goodness
There you
me,
go.
that I'll be completely disowned by the sporting world for forgetting Carol's first name. But yeah, Carol Fogarty, the superbike rider. Where the that's who the corner is actually named after. So we'll have to check on genealogy, one of those family tree websites, to see if Isaac is in fact related.
I just got an
And it
update
does
for you,
sound
folks.
like-
The race has been declared. The server dropped for everyone, as Greeny said, ACC things. And while we work on getting it back up again with the race declared, we will have a chat to your... Well, I'm going to hand over to you, John, to have a chat to our race 1 winner. I'm going to bring him in here. So, with the race being declared, Matt Simmons has been declared winner of race number 1. And, John, I'll hand over to you to have a chat to our race winner.
Indeed, yes. So, winner of race number 1, winner of many races here at AGT, and it's another one in the bag. Absolutely not the way we would have liked to have won it with the race being declared, but certainly given the 2-second gap you had over the rest of the field, a well-deserved race winner. Matt, how did you find the start of that race? It looked all action in the first opening couple of laps, and then you managed to run away with it a bit. Donington never fails to deliver.
Yeah, that's what you call a Bradbury right there. I definitely wasn't in for the win there. But it was a pretty intense start between Zanetti and Struick. They were both definitely playing for sheep stations. So I was just trying not to hit him and watch from the backs. And I mean, Simon got pretty close as well. So it was all happening. And then, yeah, unfortunate contact between them. Obviously gifted me the lead, and then I had to try and regather and just, focus on trying to hold the lead, and was able to build a fairly decent lead with Simon. I think Simon and Struick had a few little battles there, which helped me to get the lead out. And then, was just focusing to get to the finish. And unfortunate that the lobby crashed, but I'll take the win and on to the second race.
On the second race, indeed. Yeah, now I've been talking about how deadly Donington is, certainly from an untalented driver's point of view, such as myself. This Yeah, this track gives me nightmares from a driver with your exceeding amount of talent. In fact, some would say it's maybe a bit greedy, too much talent. Share it about a bit, please. But yeah, how do you find Donington as a racecourse? Because for me, it really is quintessentially British with the corners and the elevation changes. How do you find this one as a race driver?
Yeah, it's really demanding. It really, especially when you're racing close, because it's obviously tight. There's really only one line and a lot of corners, so if you get off it, you're in trouble. But it's rewarding too when you get it right. It's as you saw with Quali with a few of the laps that got posted with Struik and Donetti. If you really hook it up, it's quite rewarding. So yeah, it's definitely a challenge, but yeah, obviously makes for pretty close racing as well because it's quite easy to make mistakes. So you're definitely not guaranteed a win until you cross that finish line, or unless the server crashes. I'll take either one.
Yeah, whichever
Yeah.
comes first, we're absolutely
Yep.
happy with that. And very quickly before we let you go, expectations for race 2.
Try and get on the front row, and yeah, try and do the double. But we'll see. It's really tight between sort of the top 4, top 5. So we'll try and have a crack and hopefully be fighting for the win again.
Well, huge congratulations. Another race win for you here at AGT. And the way things are going, I'm not going to be overly surprised if I'm chatting to you again in about 40 minutes' time, Matt. We'll let you go and get yourself ready for race number 2 with our congratulations ringing in your ears, my man. So congrats, and we'll see you again, no doubt, very, very soon.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, enjoy race 2. Cheers.
We will do. There we go then, folks. Matt Simmons declared winner of race 1 after the ACC servers, and I believe this is a very Australian phrase, fudged its huggies, I believe would be
yes.
the correct terminology, I think. Have I got the lingo there correct, Isaac?
Yes, I think you have absolutely nailed that. And the server is back up. We will go again in about 5 minutes' time for qualifying for race 2. I'm just working on getting the results up for race 1.
Well, if you work on that, what I'm going to do
Yes.
is work on starting my fan club and appreciation society, because we did have 2 winners in race number 1. The first one, of course, Matt Simmons. The second, Riley Nicholson. Let's go.
P4
Nicholson,
as well for
on
Riley
it,
Nicholson.
guys. Yeah, I was just about to say, yeah, incredible overall result for Nicholson. He had a tough season last season. He had a tough start to this season, but things are certainly turning around for him in a big, big way. And that was an absolutely solid drive there. Qualified 5th overall and finished in 4th. So he gained a position against the pros as well. So a phenomenal drive for Riley. And it's been mentioned in the chat. Greens is saying, what a drive by Riley. Absolute weapon indeed. Nitro, yes, Riley was overall top 3 at one point. Did get overtaken by some of the aliens that grace us with their presence. I'm not sure how quick their flying saucers are, but they must be to be here for the racing. But yeah, certainly the top 3 aliens taking the top 3 spots. But Nicholson with an absolutely solid drive to bring home the race win here. And on the back of last week's results at the Nürburgring, he is doing good things for the team, and they've just jumped from 12th to 7th in the team standings after last week. And I think that might be a little jump up this week as well, especially if he can mimic what he's done in race 1 into race number 2. Greens is saying Riley for driver of the season. He's calling it now. You get my vote straight away. I'm okay with that. So yeah, we'll get the results up in a moment. I think Isaac is furiously working away to bring us up the full classified results. Of course, the server crashing.
Read them out. I've got them.
It makes things a lot easier for him. Of course it does.
I'm missing one piece of the puzzle, and that is who came 27th. But I have everybody else, so we can run you through those. First place, of course, Matt Simmons will take race victory for race number 1. Simon Bishop and Josh Struik, 2nd and 3rd around at your podium. Riley Nicholson, P4. Well done, Riley Nicholson. That is a mega result. Max Silver finishes P5. Then it's Mark Hurley and James Barton, 6th and 7th. Barton obviously doing that with broken ribs. That is a mega result. And then we have Daniel Woods in P8. Lachlan Dawes, Nathan Hutton. That battle we were following very closely just before the disconnect. They Finished 8th, 9th, 10th, and then Martinetti just missing out in P11. He felt a little bit frustrated with the server disconnect there and the race being declared. He felt like he could have continued to move forward in that race if it wasn't for the disconnect. So unfortunately for Martinetti, he will have to be resigned to finishing P11 there. And I don't know what will happen with the stewards' investigation, as there's no replay for us to follow up on now with that incident earlier in the race, but sure there will be some discussion had for sure about that and what they can do. Michael Tower, P12. Hagstrom, P13. Nathan Lee finishes 14th. It's Adam Joy in 15th. Josh Gordon, 16th. Andre Sheppers in 17th. Max Honeybun, Bob Norley, and Peter Sargent rounding out your top 20. Xander Stewart just misses out in 21st. Then it's Ben Sayers, 22nd. Rowan Green, 23rd. Guy Farmer, 24th. Felix Preslin, 26th. Felix Preslin, 25th. Wayne Tanner, 26th. 27th is the only position we don't have. Matt Boyd was 28th, and Les Samwith, unfortunately, was 29th. So was an unfortunate end to the race there for a few drivers, but look, these things happen, John, and we just have to push on and go again, don't we?
Indeed, yes. Like they say, though, Isaac, it's an ill wind that blows nobody some good. So certainly, well, Donetti and a few of the drivers will be bemoaning the fact that the servers crashed when they could have gained positions. There are drivers that have gained positions because of the server crash, they've managed to bring home more points. So certainly there is definitely two sides to the story at the minute with the drivers waiting for race number 2. And it'll be interesting to see how they react this time. I wonder, do we think, Isaac, will Matt do anything differently on lap number 1? Because even Matt Simmons has just said, it's a very difficult course to go side by side. We've alluded to the fact that it is tight, and it is twisty, and it is difficult. So race number 2, do we see the drivers take it a bit easier on lap 1 in deference to the fact that it is more difficult and you could end up off course? Or do we see them going even more full-blooded because they've got the fear that the server might crash? I mean, there's a couple of ways that race number 2 could go here.
Certainly is. There's a couple of ways this could go. And I don't know. That's what we're going to have to wait and see. I guess they're finishing up practice now. We had a 5-minute practice warm-up. What he's getting sorted and get back out on track for the qualifying session. We should be fairly close to time. That delay was roughly 8 minutes, and is 8 minutes left. I've just noticed that the server is struggling. It's showing a high CPU load in the server statistics down the bottom, which indicates that it is struggling. So whether this server will hold or not, we will have to wait and see. We have our fingers crossed, and I hope you all have your fingers crossed at home as well, because we'd love to see this finish and for everyone to be able to do a whole half an hour race. We'd love to get a race in, wouldn't we, John? A full race, that is. So we'll keep our fingers crossed as we wait for the qualifying to get underway. We'll head down to the track, though, while we do wait for qualifying to get underway. Now we session start in 3, 2, 1, and here we are. So 10 minutes of qualifying, lays ahead of our drivers for the second time. Look at all of them scramble out onto the track, all in one go. That no one's waiting around, are they, John?
It never fails to amuse me. I see this so often. I'm actually fortunate enough to commentate over at LFM, Low Fuel Motorsport, one of the single largest sim racing provider in the whole of Europe. And when they do the pro split, you've usually got between 28 and 34 cars that are taking part in the session, and within the first 100th of a second, 1000th of a second, you'll see 25 cars exit the pit lane right on top of one another. The absolute millisecond that the session gets started, there's suddenly 25 cars trying to exit the lane and all queue up at the back. That is how massively competitive the field are, especially around a track like this and a full-blooded qualifying. It means, Isaac, you mentioned earlier how difficult it is around this course to race with this number of cars. Trying to find space to get a quali lap in around this course, right? Let's talk about the real challenge the drivers face, because not only is it difficult, does the course present its own difficulties. Those difficulties are not just your concern, it's everyone else's difficulties that are your concern as well, because if someone in front of you makes a mistake and you have to bail out a lap, you're in a whole lot of trouble getting towards the end of the session. So yeah, everyone jostling to find track position. We're going to see a lot of yellow flags in a moment as everyone queues up at the last corner to try and get themselves a little bit of space. Because 10 minutes, even though it's a short course, Isaac, 10 minutes of quali around here with 30 cars to try and navigate your way around as well. But that 10 minutes will very, very, very quickly slip away from you.
It certainly will, and it's going to absolutely fly by here. We do have a time certain finish this evening, I should advise you folks, of 9:40 local time, so just over an hour from now, which is, it's fairly late, which means potentially if we do see another server crash and there's enough time left in the race, we may see the second race restarted. But that will depend on, again, how far we are into race number 2. Once it does get underway, the server is still playing up. I can see my little statistics down the bottom. It is struggling, which, look, I'd expect nothing less of G-Portal in recent times. It's no secret that it's been quite a frustrating experience with G-Portal recently. We're hoping that it will hold on for the remainder of the evening, but certainly cannot make any promises, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. So you'll have to bear with us, folks. We are into qualifying, though. 7 minutes to go, just under. And Josh Struick on a lap at the moment. All drivers about to start to come across the line. Bowen Piper, the first car to set an indicative time. It's a 28.4. Matt Simmons a little bit behind that, a 27.9 out the gate for James Barton. Everyone's getting their bankers down now. Everyone putting in a lap to at least get themselves time on the ball. And if I will make the call now, John, if we do unfortunately lose the qualifying session before the last 2 minutes of the session, I'd say we will most likely just restart the qualifying session and run it again, albeit maybe a little bit less time. But if we get inside the last 2 minutes, whatever the results are inside that last 2 minutes will stand. So we'll wait and see what happens. Fingers crossed it'll just hold up, though. We won't have any major issues. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Across the line, Rowan Nicholson, currently the fastest car on track, John. So your man, Rowan Nicholson, is at this stage. I don't know if everyone's at the full peak of their powers, but it doesn't matter. At the moment, if the clock was to stop, he is quickest.
Indeed, and yeah, let's just stop the clock now. That's fine. We're done. Let's pack up and go home. It's been a great day, folks. Thanks very much. We'll see you all there. No? Nobody buying it? No. Okay. Yeah, no, Nicholson up at the front. Very good time as well. 27.1. Laying down a good solid marker. Looking to go for back-to-back wins. I will say, actually, Isaac, I do want to ever so slightly jump in and just minorly defend G-Portal. When I was working with SOP Motorsports a few years ago, we actually moved to a small independent server provider to get our servers. And after a while, we got notification that they were stopping doing console ACC servers because the ACC backend itself is so bad that they were having to deal with multiple customer complaints, and it actually became their single largest workload was dealing with customer complaints about ACC servers that they could do nothing about. So there is a bit of a mix in there. G-Portal do need to sort themselves out a little bit, but I do think it is the ACC servers in the background. It's no secret what my thoughts are on the ACC development team, the way they've absolutely thrown console drivers under the bus. Their single largest customer base completely thrown under the bus. So Kunos, sort yourself out, please. These are some of the most dedicated, quickest drivers on the planet. They are filling your grids, they are keeping your game relevant, and you do nothing for them, and it is disgusting. We can't even get a broadcast mode. My apologies, you should never complain or explain when you are a broadcaster. It should always be a positive experience for the viewers, but on this one, there is a soapbox with my high horse stood on it, and Kunos, you really do need to sort out, because as I say, I mean, some of these drivers, absolute commitment, very quick, very clean. We're getting 30-40 car grids on console. And yeah, we're getting absolutely thrown under the bus with the servers. That is my rant over. There's still some very quick drivers on them. I'll let Isaac hide my blushes and talk about some actual qualifying now.
There is a lot of frustrations within the community. I feel this game, they announced AC Evo and they sort of said, well, that's it for ACC, and there's no real console timeline for AC Evo, so they've sort of abandoned a game that has a very, very large player base in terms of console and gone, well, we're just going to focus on the PC side, and as a result, this is what we're left with. And while the product works functionally as a game, and in the grand scheme of things, it's just not quite, I think, what they would have wanted for, or how the player base really would have wanted it left. And you know, the broadcast things they get on PC certainly make it a lot easier, and we're missing that on console, and there's just a little quality of life things that we are missing on ACC that it's disappointing. There is no further updates to this game besides liveries to cars. It's disappointing, but again, it is what it is, and my hopes are that LMU is going to move to console sooner rather than later. We've been told to expect an announcement at the actual real life Le Mans in the coming months, so fingers crossed we get a bit of a timeline, because as soon as that happens, I can tell you it is goodbye AGT ACC and hello LMU, because that's exactly where we will be going.
Be careful what you wish for.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for. Listen, I'm sorry to rain on anybody's parade, but LMU will not be console fit for at least 2 years. Considering how bad it is on PC currently. So, I've mentioned LFM, largest 290,000 drivers they've got, and they had to cancel the last 2 races of last season and the first 2 races of this season because LMU can't sort the bop out. The BMW, now
very fast.
I'm using 10. The BMW was 10 seconds slower than any other GT3 car around Le Mans because they got the balance of performance all wrong. 10 seconds, folks.
A big gap. That is a big gap.
Drive a GT4.
yeah, might as well just walk really around Le Mans at that point. Like, that is a very big gap. Nevertheless, we have a qualifying session going on. We have cars coming across the line. Mark Early across the line does not improve on that occasion. Trying to follow where some of our drivers are up to. Matt Simmons coming to the final corner now. We've got Matt Donetti behind him, so we'll follow these two as they come towards the line. Yellow flags in front. That's for a car in the pit lane. Just an improvement for Matt Simmons. It is not. Is an improvement for Matt Donetti. It is an improvement for Matt Donetti, but not enough to jump up onto the front row of the grid once again. Josh Struick, where is he? Coming down towards the hairpin at the bottom of the circuit, the penultimate corner on this track. There is still a number of drivers out there on hot laps. We've got 40 seconds remaining in this session. For now, we are okay. It is holding up. Nothing is majorly broken. Simon Bishop out there setting a time as well, pushing on with his lap. Josh Struick across the line does not improve, but I would imagine he's got something left in the tank. Who is coming to the line now? The 115 car of Xander Stewart to the line. Max Honeybun in behind him. What can they do? There's no improvement at this stage from either of those drivers. The 48 car is coming to the line. What can Michael Tower do? Can he improve? Not at this stage. Daniel Wood also not able to improve on this occasion. Now jump back again. Mark Hurley. The cycle is complete. It's a fairly short cycle. The timer has gone off. The checkered flag is out, and this will be everybody's last lap now. So everyone made it to the line for one more lap. Across the line goes Mark Hurley. And a massive steer into the wall there at the end of his lap. Maybe a little bit of frustration that he wasn't able to get it done. Adam Joy jumps up into 25th ahead of his stablemate in Les Sandwich to the line. What can Matt Simmons do? Is an improvement to pole? It is an improvement to pole. Only just knocks him out. What can Matt Donetti do? No improvement here. Where is Josh Struick? Where is Simon Bishop? Here is Simon Bishop out of the final corner. What can the Audi driver do across the line? Will it be an improvement for the number 2 car? It is not. Does Josh Struick improve? Can he knock Matt Simmons off the pole position? Or will our race 1 winner put himself in the box seat to do it all again in race number 2? Out of the final corner, the power is down. It's a short run to the line for the championship leader. He does not improve and stays second. So providing no one pulls the lap out of absolutely nowhere, that will be pole position for Matt Simmons. You have a number of cars still coming to the line now to set their final times. Lachlan Dawes, does he improve? He does, one spot. Michael Tower jumps up into P4.
Tower.
At the death as well, jumps up to P4, and look at those gaps. We now have 11 cars within a second of each other, which is a much closer qualifying session.
Indeed it is, yeah. Big shout out to Sargent there. He managed to pip Nicholson by 300ths of a second, but then Toward comes in and beats them both by 200ths of a second to get himself 4th place overall. Top 3 Pro-Am drivers in the top 6 overall. That is how quick that field is. So as you can see at the top of qualifying, we've got 3 pros, 3 Pro-Ams, and then Matt Dernetti in the pros in 7th. He's got a couple of Pro-Ams behind him, but 5 Pro-Ams in the top 10, Isaac. Could these leagues be any closer?
Oh, I don't think so. It is very, very competitive in this field, which is absolutely what we love to see. So Matt Simmons lines up on pole from Josh Struick and Simon Bishop. Michael Talbot on the pole for Pro-Ams. Peter Sargent and Riley Nicholson in P6. So your man in position number 6. Then it is Matt Donetti in P7. Probably not where he would like to be in that Audi at all. Could not get the lap together in that session to repeat his Q1 time. Nathan Hutton, P8. Bowen Piper. And Max Silver in position number 10. James Barton just outside 11th. Hagstrom in 12th. Then it's Sheppers, Gordon, Hurley, Dawes, Wood, Lee, Sayers, and Preslin rounding out your top 15. Top 20, sorry. And then it's Xander Stewart, Max Honeybun just outside Rowan Green, Bob Norley, Adam Joy, and those sandwich, those BMWs not having a great time of it this evening with Boyd down there as well. Guy Farmer and then Wayne Tanner did not set a lap in qualifying. Was not able to get a lap together. I believe he said he's having brake issues, which is not ideal at all. So we will keep an eye on that as the race gets underway. We are hoping this will be a full race. It seems that the server, I'm going to get ahead of myself, but it may be starting to stabilize a little bit now, which is what we were hoping it would do as we got more comfortable into this session. So we will go racing for the final time this evening. 30 minutes of action lays ahead of us at Donington, and hasn't Donington provided so far this evening, John? There has been, especially in the opening laps, there has been a lot of elbows out, a lot of side-by-side action, and we could see the very same thing repeated here.
Oh, indeed, yeah. I mean, there's no coup about it. This is Donington. This is what it does. Oh, Hagstrom starting from the pits.
Did not tick in time, so didn't click drive.
Oh.
That is disappointing. So Hagstrom,
I mean, that might be the master strategy.
It could be.
That might be the master strategy. It definitely would. I mean, yeah. Oh, I accidentally forgot to start at Monza. That means I'll miss turn 1 lap 1. Oh, downer. But yeah, no, so Hagstrom starting from the pits. Yeah, but certainly around here, the drivers, as we were saying, it's going to be, well, it's going to be full-blooded again. I mean, we've got drivers that they all understand this is a very difficult track to get an overtake done, but we've also got some wonky servers, so they will be looking to get positions as much as possible. So it's very much I got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, and I think the first lap, or certainly the first 2 laps, are going to be a very, very, very solid marker as to how the entirety of the race is going to play out. It'll be interesting to see how Dernetti does down there in 7th. It's going to be a tough one for him because it's 3 very quick Pro-Ams that are battling for their own overall podium positions, as well as those vital team points. The team championship just really is hotting up at the moment. But the big problem that Donetti's got, Simmons, Struick are up in front in those Porsches, with Simon Bishop, the rear gunner in that group of 3, in the Audi. Simmons and Struick, I mean, we've seen what they can do up at the front of the field. We saw the Nürburgring, they were pretty impressive. That battle will live long in my memory, and we could be in for another one here with these 2 up at the front. But Bishop's certainly in a good position at the start of the race.
Certainly is. Peter Sargent and Riley Nicholson also in a good position here for the start of this one. I'll just quickly talk you through the red flag procedure, folks, just in case we do have one. So red flag is called no matter how long into the race, because it's very, very difficult to determine where cars are on track, because as you can see here, we have 29 cars in the field, and at any given time I can only see 21 of those cars. So if we have a red flag at any stage, the grid is reset well, the field is reset in terms of their starting position, which some drivers may feel a little bit hard done by, but we will move back to starting positions if the red flag is called. If we get more than halfway through the race will be declared, and we will take the results as best we can get them for those finishing positions. So that is how it'll work. If we get to over 15 minutes, we will declare the race, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we will not have a red flag. If you can all keep your fingers crossed, touch a bit of wood if you're superstitious, and we will go racing. We are not too far away from a race start here. Matt Simmons on pole next to Josh Struick. Took the race 1 victory. Can he back it up and go 2 from 2? Car 26 straight away. Peter Sargent drive through for speeding on the start. But it is a wonderful start for our race 1 winner. He gets away cleanly from Simon Bishop, who actually moves up in the second. So Josh Struick loses a spot off the start line here. And everyone runs down the hill for the first time towards the old hairpin. And they're still side by side. There's 2 by 2 in the background. They're going to have to sort this out fairly quickly. I do not want to see any cars off the road here, folks. If we can avoid it, we have got cars off the road. Oh, around, massive contact. Huge contact. And that is Shepard's facing the wrong way. We've got cars everywhere. And 22 is off the circuit. There's another car off the circuit as well, trying to work out who that is. That's found themselves at the back of the field. I think that's 308 Daniel Wood. It is. Finds himself at the back of this pack. That is contact at the old hairpin. Just super easy to do. Here's Josh Struick getting aggressive off the start. We saw this in race number 1. He's super aggressive off the start through the Fogarty S's for the first time. And Matt Simmons skipping away here at the start. Here comes Matt Donetti in the background, side by side with Michael Toward up the inside into the hairpin. And in the background as well, Riley Nicholson trying to go for a move on his teammate to get that done. So there is multiple cars capitalising on the cold tyres at the early stages. Max Silver up into 6th after starting P10. What an electric start to this race. And again, on the opening laps here, Donington delivers.
Indeed it does, yeah. Delivers Sargent a drive-through. He's going to come in and serve that one now. Dernetti getting a rocket of a start. That is a dream lap 1 for him. He's cleared all the Pro-Ams here. He's now got a bit of clear track ahead of him to try and work to catch up to Struick. Not a good start from Nicholson. He has managed to get himself back onto the podium, but certainly was ejected from the Pro-Am podium temporarily, and he's got an absolute battle on his hands to hold on to, because Barton, Piper, Hurley and Gordon, all 4 of those drivers are within 1.2 seconds of him. So that is an absolutely solid group of cars there. We've got Hagstrom, as you can see, right down at the back of the field. So a couple of drivers falling by the wayside. Hagstrom, of course, starting from the pits. So he's made it up to 27, sorry. Yeah, it was Hagstrom that started from the pits. There's so much going on. I mean, look at that group all the way back here from Hutton, Nicholson, Barton, Piper, Hurley, Gordon, Lee and Dawes are within 1.2 seconds of one another. It's absolutely wild. And Struick and Bishop, they've swapped positions as we've seen, and Bishop looking absolutely planted. So we have now got Porsche, Audi, which is BCG, BCG, CP, and then BCT. So BCT looking very quick up at the front, but it's an absolute coin flip, Isaac, as to which of these 2 manufacturers is actually quicker around here. Is it the Porsche or is it the Audi? At the minute, it's game on for the Porsches.
Certainly is. And look, if I'm Simon Bishop, I'm going to play a little game of have you met my friend Matt Donetti, because Josh Struick is all over the back of him, but Simon Bishop is a very smart driver. He knows where to place the car, and he could potentially try and back Josh Struick into the clutches of Matt Donetti here. Exactly what Donetti needs to try and claw some championship points back after finishing P11 in race 1. So this could be a have you met Matt going on in a very, very short period of time. Struick, though, desperate to get past, throwing everything at him pace-wise. Barton sitting in P9. He's got Nicholson in front of him. Nicholson in the line astern with his teammate right now, Hutton in front in 7. So Toward, this has got the Pro-Am lead from Hutton, from Nicholson, and then Barton. There's a nice group of Pro-Am cars all here doing battle for these Pro-Am podium spots. Josh Gordon right in behind Mark Hurley. Josh Gordon, of course, got a drive through for track limits, sitting inside that top 10 in race number 1, and then ran out of time with the server crash to be able to get that position back. So there was a bit of fortunate, I would say, for Josh Gordon to not be able to make up for lost time there. Truex still all over the back of Simon Bishop at the front of this field. Matt Donetti lurking in behind, just over a second away. Howard just over a second away from him as well. Then it's Max Silver in P6. Then it's this massive, look at this group of cars all happening. Bowen Piper, was that Bowen Piper or was it Lachlan Dawes? I think it was Lachlan Dawes. It was off on the ripple strip and bouncing across the grass as well on the exit of the final corner. Then look at this in the background. Look at them all weaving back and forth across the track, trying to stay in the slipstream of the car in front. Up the inside goes Daniel Wood, thinks about a move, opens the door, does Ben Sayers to give him a little bit of room, invites him up the inside, and that will be a positional change. And here comes Les Sandwith on his stablemate as well. The team boss on Ben Sayers thinks better of it as they get down to the old hairpin. There is two distinct groups. Look at the track map, folks. There is three distinct groups, really. The front of the field, then there's a mid-pack, and then there's the second mid-pack. Look at these little groups on the mini-map. It is nuts.
Welcome to Donington, folks. You are welcome. This is what this track does. It really does. Oh, so he has.
That's huge.
He must. Wow. He must have done that through Coppice. That's insane. You're not supposed to do that. Somebody needs to have a word with Riley here. That's not
supposed to do that, mate. Oh, you're breaking the rules of racing here. You're not supposed to overtake through there, unless your name's Matt Donetti, of course. We saw Matt do it earlier in race 1. Got a yellow flag out. Car 79.
Oh, speaking of Matt Donetti.
Matt Donetti. What is he doing?
He is within 4/10 of a second. Aha.
Well, he was.
Oh no, sorry, it's dropped back to 9. But yeah, I mean, Simmons and Dernetti are both rubbing their hands together with absolute glee at the moment because Bishop and Struick are so close. They are costing themselves time at the minute, and I tell you what, Matt Simmons is making hay while the British sun shines as Matt Dernetti goes for a run off the track, heading up the hill. This is one of the corners that I mentioned, folks, at the start. Just past Starcase Bridge. It seems very easy to make your way through this section of the course. It is not. I can assure you, and there's Matt proving my point exactly. But if we jump up and have a look at Struick, he is still right on the back of Bishop. You can see just how close, and I do mean right on the back, Isaac.
He is right in behind him at the moment through the Fogarty S's. There's a tyre barrier. I don't know if you noticed that. Just off to the left-hand side, just sitting in the middle of the track because someone's hit it and it's gone out of the way. So there's a tyre barrier just sitting in the middle of no man's land right now. Struick, he was nice and close through the Fogarty S's, but not able to close up, fortunately enough to stay with him through those S's to get the move done. And that's the hardest part. You can get a nice run off Coppice down towards the me S's, if you will, but you don't get a good run through the S's. It ruins your overtaking opportunity at the hairpin down the bottom. So that is super unfortunate for Jeesh, but he'll turn around, he'll go again. He's got plenty of time left in this race to try and make something happen. Here we go. This is Lachlan Dawes right in behind Josh Gordon. This is the other battle pack we were speaking about. And look at this battle pack down the back, folks. This is led by Guy Farmer. You've got Ferbs, Adam Joy, Bob Norley, Hagstrom, Honeybun, and then you've got Tanner and Sargent in the background as well. There's a nice little battle group here forming for what is essentially the last spot inside the top 20.
I'm on mute because I sneezed here. My apology. Hay fever is all kinds of fun. I almost lost my eyeball there, sneezing so hard. But yeah, I tell you what, some of the drivers are going to lose an eyeball. Anyone taps on the brakes here. Look how close that is. There is nothing separating them as they head up the hill, and a good mix of manufacturers. We've actually got Hayden in the chat on TrackSpotTV asking about the balance of performance on console, because on PC, of course, the Mustang is pretty much king of everything. Well, as you can see, it's a good mix, and it's actually a good mix as well, Hayden, if we have a look. A lot of the pro drivers, and this is something that we'll question on, a lot of the pro drivers, Porsches, Audis, we've got Nissans, a couple of Ferraris in there, but in the Pro-Ams, very much Aston Martin heavy. It's good to see that Aston back at the front of the field, and Nissan and Ferrari making a mention, and the only place we're seeing Mustangs and BMWs is in the Pro-Am class, so I think that does say a lot for how well spread the balance of performance is. It's almost like they've got it pretty close. I know they do keep making a mess of it on the PC, but certainly on console it is a very solid mix. And again, you can see the mix of cars between the two classes, which is something I find ultra
yellow
fascinating,
flags.
if I'm being honest.
Yellow flags. What has happened? There's multiple cars in the wall.
My lord.
So there is the car 100 jump back to the pit lane. Wayne Tanner was in the wall. Bowen Piper also involved in this.
Oh.
Who else was caught up? Mark Hurley's dived back to the
stationary in the
lane.
middle of the
Somebody
track.
is that is Hagstrom
That's
stationary
a
in the
force.
middle
Is
of
that
the track.
Hagstrom?
He needs to move because you can see the race leaders in the background. He needs to move. What will Hagstrom do here? He cannot sit there, and he does jump back to the pit lane. So finally clears the track, but something has happened there. We've got a car off the road as well. That's car 25. That's Josh Gordon. So it's all happening here, folks. We've missed that as we were looking towards the top of the field. I did see the yellow flags all happening. And look at the damage on the front of it. And he doesn't want to jump back to the pits. That'll lose him more time. He wants to try and drive this thing back to the lane if he can. But it is a long way to go to get back to the pits. But look at the damage on the front of that car. That is huge, huge damage to the 25 TTR car. And I'm sure there will be, post-race, there will be an investigation into exactly what happened there. He does eventually stop the car, and I think he's decided it is best to jump back to the pit lane, which is unfortunate. But we stay green. Not that we'd be able to throw a safety car anyway, but we do stay green, and the car that was in the middle of the circuit has been cleared. The 115 cars into the lane, I believe, with damage as well. There we go, we'll get out, there we go. The camera catches up and look at the damage. So multiple cars caught up in that incident. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at least. Plus Wayne Tanner, that's 6. There's 6 cars, 7 cars. Bowen Piper also being caught up in that as well. So there was a number of cars caught up in that incident, which is very, very frustrating. Like Shepard's in front also has a little bit of damage on the front of his car. So that was from the earlier incident though, I believe. So wow, it is happening at Donington, isn't it? And now Toward's been passed by Max Silver, so there's a spot going. Danetti's down to 7th, so Danetti's lost places here. It's all happening. I cannot keep up, John. There is so much going on in this field. Danetti's back down to 7th, so he's made a mistake somewhere and gone off the road and has to now recover. He's got 18 minutes left in the race, so plenty of time to do it, but it's promoted Max Silver up to 4th and Michael Toward into 5th. Rowan Nicholson sits P6.
Indeed, yeah. Toward and Nicholson having a solid race. Those two on the podium for the Pro-Ams. Danetti's got a bit of work to do. I'm not sure if he maybe got caught up in that incident that we saw. Had to take avoiding action coming along this very stretch of road that he's on at the moment. But certainly Nicholson and Toward ahead of them. It's gone quite well for them because it's put Hutton, their other podium protagonist in the Pro-Ams, behind the pro that is Matt Bernetti. So these two will now battle away for their podium positions, and I think they're within 0.4 of a second. There is just as close actually as Bishop and Struik is. As Struik are to one another, with Matt Simmons
Danetti's off the road again.
running away.
Danetti's in the wall.
Oh wow.
Danetti has put the car in the wall and has lost positions once again, so he's off the road. And I think this is a night to forget, unfortunately, for the reigning champion. He is not having it his way this evening. That's the second time he's been in that tyre wall.
Third place.
Third place. It is happening at the front of the field. Danetti will lose a number of spots again. Donington has not been a happy hunting ground for him tonight. I think this Audi, you have to have it in the right window, but it's a very, very tricky car to drive, and unfortunately for him, it is not agreeing with him tonight. And he's continuing to lose spots down this field. Dropped to 14th now behind Daniel Woods. A number of cars in this second race that are being caught up. Max Silver leading this little Pro-Am lead battle. See how far behind Nathan Hunt. He's 4.6 seconds back. You can see him there in the background of the shot. And he is closing in on this group, and if this battle continues, we could see a three-way battle for the leads of the Pro-Am class. 5th on the road, so a top 5 result as well, which would be a mega effort for all 3 of these drivers this evening to finish in the top 3, but also in the top 5 overall. Nathan Lee inside the top 10 as well, so Pro Driver found his way inside the top 10. A little bit of a, had to have 2 goes at getting the car turned in there at the old hairpin. And he's being hunted down by Lachlan Dawes. And Felix Presland as well, up to 11th, so on for a strong result tonight as well. Felix Presland, great to see him, also known as the Stone Towel, up into P11. He's got Rowan Green behind him, Daniel Woods, and then Matt Donetti. No major damage to that car, so I don't think he hit anything too hard. It was just a unfortunate, got it wrong into the old hairpin and found himself into the wall. It's still happening here at the front of the field. Oh, here we go. This is going on now. Up the inside goes Rowan Nicholson. Even room by Tower. They're still side by side on exit. This will give Tower the inside line to the final corner. This is some great racing between these two, and Max Silver was also a part of that for a moment there, but give a bit of breathing room given these two are more focused on battling each other than they are trying to get past Silver in front. So a golden opportunity for Nicholson to make something happen. Not able to make it stick on that occasion, but it's spicy. We are almost at half race distance now. So 15 minutes to go. Matt Simmons, 2.5 seconds in front. Josh Struick right in behind Simon Bishop as we officially reach the halfway point of the race. And there is two very close battles for two very key spots. One inside the Pro podium and one for the Pro-Am leader drive-through for Andre Scheppers for Track Limits.
Oh. Yeah, we saw 2-3 drive-throughs for Track Limits. That is the hidden sleeper around this corner. I mean, it's not so much hidden. It's very easy to violate the track limits at multiple of the corners because you have to be absolutely on the edge. I mean, especially if you hear the Fogarty S's, the number of drivers that are going to get a slap on the wrist from the in-game steers through here is going to be quite remarkable. But as you say, we've got four effectively very important positions being fought over.
Oh, here we
go.
go.
Final two positions. Oh, here we go. Yep.
Up the inside, has another look. Rowan Nicholson, same as last lap. Given room by Toward. Once again, they'll be side by side on exit, but again, just not able to get the drive off the corner. So this is very, very interesting indeed, this battle. And Nicholson throwing everything at it. That gap is 4.2 seconds now back to Hutton. If this keeps going, he could close that in before this race is over. It could be a very, very spicy battle indeed. If we have three cars battling it out for the top spot, he's within 4 seconds now, so that's continuing to close. Still have two cars sitting in the way, and that's Josh Gordon and Hagstrom. So they are both, I believe, out of this race with the amount of damage that they had on their cars. Still not quite sure the incident that caused that, but I'm sure we'll find out later on, that's for sure. Josh Struick, Simon Bishop, still battling for the second. These guys, I believe it was the two of them that were doing this in the previous race, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a repeated business.
Indeed, yep. What is it? A Groundhog Day. There we go. That's the one I'm looking for. Groundhog Day. What a movie that is. Oh, and I tell you what, I was talking about the track limits through the Fogarty S's there. That is Struick taking an absolute liberty, and he's going to try and take a move up the inside in the penultimate hairpin. Doesn't quite get close enough. What is his corner exit going to be like? It's going to be absolute otherworldly, but so is Bishop's. These two absolutely grinning ear to ear at the moment, I'd imagine, behind the wheel of those cars, and certainly two, Silver, Nicholson and Hutton. Nicholson up into the lead. Oh no, sorry, he's still in second place in the Pro-Ams because he's got Silver just ahead of him. So Toward has managed to pull off a very, very nice manoeuvre and get himself a pro driver between himself and his main rival for the Pro-Am race win with 12 minutes left to go. Silver having a look.
Look at the gap between Hutton. That is... oh no, Rowan Nicholson spins the car. He spun the car. He's got to get it back on track without cleaning anybody up. He's stopped on the road. He's just waiting now.
Yeah, he's got to stay still. Yeah, he should reverse, Riley.
He gets it going though. He's gassed it up and he'll start rolling again. He gets out of the way of those coming through at race speed. He'll put the power down. That is super unfortunate for Rowan Nicholson. He'll drop down to what will be 12th on the road now. And he did that all on his own. Got loose out of turn one. Getting to the pointy end of the evening. The track is... Look, it's gripped up. Maybe not as gripped up as they would have liked, considering we lost that first race session. However, the tyres are getting warm. We are at 11 minutes to go in this race. So, unfortunately, for Rowan Nicholson, he now drops down. And there's up the inside, Matt Donetti on Daniel Wood. So he's got that done at a very unconventional spot. We've seen him do that a couple times this evening. And now they run down to the Fogarty S's. line astern, thinks about a move. Daniel Wood, that's a very bold place to go for a move indeed. It's not a place you want to try and go for an overtake at all. Andre Shepard's back into the pit lane as well. And we have yellow flags in the final corner. 48, here we go. Battle going on at the front of the field still. Struick and Simmons still going at it as well at the front of this field. It is all happening, folks. We are trying to keep up with this as much as we possibly can. 10 minutes to go in this race. Struick and Bishop battling for the second place overall. Nicholson and Green. So Nicholson gains a spot into 11th, past Green. Dawes, what's happening at the front of this field? He's lost 5 seconds here. Well, he's actually ahead of Barton. Yeah, he is ahead of Barton. So they will... No, he's ahead of Lee, sorry. Got 5 seconds back to Barton. I got confused. Saw a green Nissan GTR. And there's 6 seconds back to Felix Preston. So there's a couple little battles out there at the moment, John, but they're all sort of half spread out battles.
They are indeed. Yeah, let's go back to the overall podium battle, because Josh Struick is now, he's closed that gap by another half a tenth. Again, Groundhog Day. He just can't quite get it done through these Fogarty S's. He does seem to get close on the way through Coppice, but then by the time he gets to these final 2 corners, one of them is called Melbourne. The one we've just gone through, of course, Melbourne and then Goddar's.
What's happened to Matt Donetti? He's gone slowly again. He was letting a bunch of cars past. There's something that's happened again. For the night, it's not a great night at Donington for Matt Donetti, is it? He is not having a very good time behind the wheel of that Audi, unfortunately. And he drops to 17th. So not quite sure what happened on that occasion, but it's and it's hard, isn't it, John? You have one incident, and you rightly so feel frustrated about that incident, and then you're trying to overdrive the car, and in a car like the Audi that's already so loose, the last thing you want to do is try and overdrive it, and for Matt Donetti, it's just meant that it is a bit of a struggle street tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot of diminishing returns, especially in something like ACC GT3 racing. The tyres are so temperamental, it is not even funny. And we've got a bit of a tailwind as well, 5 kilometres. It's certainly going to be messing with the drivers through certain corners. The track temperature has been diminishing as well, so keeping heat in the tyres may be an issue that he's having, or he's overcooked them. With too many spins, too many flat spots. As we head down into Melbourne once again, they're absolutely nose to tail. Has he managed to use the traffic? He's got the inside line, he's on the apex, he's got it wheel to wheel, his front wheel to front wheel as they head through Melbourne and out. And I think Struick has got this. I think Struick has just got the little stubby nose of the Porsche in front, but it's going to be the Audi that's got the inside line, throws it in. He's going to try for the cutback, surely. Oh, he's been a bit close on those inside curves, and it is still as you were again, Isaac, but no quarter given or asked for either of these drivers, and Bishop really does have a long 8 minutes ahead of him in order to second place.
He certainly does, and I think he'll feel a little bit hard done by there. That lap car took forever to get out of the way, and Josh Struick, Simon Bishop had to get off the power ever so slightly, and Josh Struick capitalised. And then there was contact mid-corner. Oh, big moment for Struick. Does he catch it? He does. He got the inside curb at the old hairpin, and massive slide in the Porsche. He managed to catch it, though. That could have been disastrous if that car stepped out on him. And back to that incident, yeah, so, and he got a little bit, he took the advantage in Struick, but there was contact mid-corner at the hairpin, and I think Simon Bishop probably feels a bit frustrated. That 79 BMW didn't get out of the way as quick as he would have liked. This has released Matt Simmons up the road, by the way. 4.2 seconds. He has absolutely walked away with this, and we will get the privilege, all going well within the next 7 minutes, to chat once again to Simon Bishop Matt Simmons for the second race victory of the evening. He's going to go back to back. I have it on good authority that unfortunately he will miss the last round of the season. If he wasn't missing the last round of the season, the way that he's been driving recently, I wouldn't put him out of a last-minute championship fight here, because he is clawing back points left, right, and centre on Matt Donetti and Josh Struick with the way that he's been driving. He is within 176 points, which feels like a lot, but performances like this and consistently finishing ahead can guarantee you a better result. I'm just looking, Matt Donetti slow once again, letting cars pass and dropping down the field. I think there is a bit of frustration behind the wheel of that Audi, and he is letting cars pass now down into position number 20. So we'll drop potentially outside the top 20 if Green catches and passes him before the end of this race. Max Silver is leading from Michael Toward, who sits first in class. Rowan Nicholson's fought back to inside the top 10. So a great comeback drive so far for Rowan Nicholson after that spin. But he has got a fair way up the road. 5.4 seconds to Lachlan Dawes, who's all on his own at the moment. So there is a big ask for Rowan Nicholson to try and catch him. So whether he can do that in the next 5 minutes, I don't quite think he's able to. Martinetti is into the pit lane. So this could be a retirement from the race for the number 1 car. He will meet the 75% race distance, so he will get classified for points, but will not finish the race on track. It does seem at this stage. 6th place. It's still going on. In front of this
three-way
field.
battle for the podium in Pro-Arms. That's incredible.
That is absolutely incredible. So Toward, Hutton, Barton, all in line of stern battle with Max Silver in front. It's still going on between Struick and Simon Bishop as well. Keep an eye on that with 5 minutes to go, folks. And Matt Donetti will not be coming back out on the circuit, I don't believe, and Matt Boyd potentially will overtake him, so drop him outside the top 20 in this race. Max Silver sits in P4. This is a great race for Max Silver, isn't it? Sitting in position number 4 on his return to the series. The reason that we didn't see him on track as much recently is he got a job, if you would believe. He got a job and they require him to work very long hours and just wasn't able to line up with the schedule. But he made sure he was here tonight as Wayne Tanner gets out of the way. Cars coming past. And we see him on track. We won't see him on track, unfortunately, next week at Hungaroring, but it's nice to see him back out there tonight and getting some good results. He was a bit sceptical how he would go this evening. Wasn't quite sure if his pace would be up to scratch being out of the car for a little while, but he certainly fell straight back into a rhythm, hasn't he? Josh Struick has dropped right away, and there's damage on the front of that car, so there's been a mistake for Josh Struick somewhere, and he has dropped right away from Simon Bishop, so that will pretty much seal the podium now with 3 minutes to go. That means we can turn our attention and our focus, John Wright, to this battle for the Pro-Am podium. Michael Toward, Nathan Hutton, James Barton, all in the mix here for the Pro-Am victory, and keep in mind, James Barton racing with fractured ribs.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. I mean, he should win Driver of the Season just for this performance. Bringing home a podium at Donington, no less, on cracked ribs. It just, I wince every time I even say it out loud. And he could be on for an improvement in his position this year. It could be Max Silver. We're talking about his triumphant return, finishing in 4th. He could find himself a kingmaker here because he is within the same distance of Toward as Hutton is to Toward, so it is very close there as the 4 of them head through the old hairpin and up towards Starcase Bridge with less than 3 minutes left to go. It's Toward looking to bring home a Pro-Am win. Tell you what, Barton's absolutely on the edge of that Nissan. We know the Nissan can do well in sector number 1, not quite as quick as the other ones in sectors 2 and 3, so that could be where Barton looks to pounce on Hutton. Toward will be keen to watch that battle continue in his rear view mirror, so he can hold on to what would be a phenomenal race win. And I tell you what, he could be looking to get himself 4th place overall. I know they say a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, but Toward could go for full glory here and go for 4th place overall. As we jump down the field and look at a battle with the Mercedes, we've got, a few drivers have retired. We've still got, what, 23 running? Yeah, Dernetti, Shepherd's, Piper, Gordon, Hagstrom out, unfortunately.
23 drivers on the track. Hurley, 4
it's
laps
not bad
down,
for Donington.
No, not bad for Donington at all. 23 still on track. Hurley running around, albeit 4 laps down, but I believe should get classified in the end here. About 19 laps in this race with probably at least another lap to go, looking at where our race leader is, which says to me have a 20 lap race distance, or 21 lap race distance, I believe, once he crosses the line. 75% of that off the top of my head is 16 laps. So as long as you're not 5 laps down, you will be fine. So Shepherds might just be on the bubble. Bowen Piper also probably will not be classified, but Martinetti and Mark Hurley should be classified in the end of this one. James Barton dropped off now from Nathan Hutton. So they're about a second back to Michael Toward and about a second back as well to James Barton. So it's all sort of starting to spread out towards the end of this one as we get to the last few minutes. Bob Norley right in behind Rowan Green. So we have just under a minute to go when Matt Simmons crossed the line. He will start the final lap of the race. There is the message from race control. Leader is on the final lap of the race. So one more time, we will see a race to its conclusion this evening. Race 1 cut short due to server issues, but it's held up for now. We're almost there, folks. Don't jinx it just yet. But the server is held up, and we should get through an entire 30 minutes of racing for race number 2 this evening. Bob Norley having a last-minute look at the back of the Grimace Racing McLaren. Give that McLaren some TV time. Keep the TrackSpotTV boss, George Cook, very, very happy. He loves his McLarens, doesn't he? And we'll give it a bit of TV time to keep the boss happy, earn some brownie points, and get us in the good books. This is a nice little battle, though. Bob Norley, Adam Joy in 13th and 14th. And fortunately for... Oh, it's actually closed up right towards the end here. So this last lap... Oh, I've clicked drive. Didn't want to do that. Didn't want to do that. It's made me click drive. Return back to the track, the screen that we are so used to seeing here. Look at this on the track with these three very, very close. Max Silver also a part of this battle, but Matt Simmons, he won race number 1. He was the victor at the Nürburgring 3 weeks ago. He continued that form in race 1 this evening, albeit being cut short, but he's seen this one to conclusion. He takes the pole position and converts it to a race victory in race number 2 this evening. Matt Simmons wins from Simon Bishop in position number 2. Josh Struick will come home to complete the podium in position number 3. And then it's all still going on here at the back of the field with a last-minute gasp for the overall Pro-Am victory. But it'll be Max Silver in position number 4. Then Michael Toward, your Pro-Am victor from Nathan Hutton, from James Barton. Take a bow. That is a phenomenal effort to do what he did. Rowan Nicholson closes up to just under 3 seconds away from Lachlan Dawes in the end, but it is not enough to, well, just over 3 seconds in the end, but it's not enough to get himself back up into P8. So we'll finish 9th. Daniel Wood inside P10, and Nathan Lee just misses out on a top 10 finish, but a great result for him this evening. Rowan Green, Bob Norley, they're going to push each other all the way to the end here. Who comes out on top of the line? It is Rowan Green, position number 12 from Bob Norley, Adam Joy, and Max Honeyfield. Oh, sideways at the end from Ben Sayers into the wall. He hasn't even crossed the line yet, so he's going to have to either drive backwards or turn the car around. He's just going to roll the car backwards across the line, and there we go. He meets the line. He spun it on the curb at the final corner, hit the wall, lost a couple places as a result, and that will summarise our full race results. We'll try and get this quickly before the server does run away. So it is your full results in the air. Matt Simmons from Simon Bishop, Josh Struick, Max Silver, Michael Toward, Nathan Hutton, James Barton, Lachlan Dawes, Rowan Nicholson, and Daniel Wood rounding out your top 10. Nathan Lee, Rowan Green, Bob Norley, Adam Joy, and Max Honeybun inside the top 15. Les Sam with the great result in 16th. Felix Presland, Peter Sargent, Ben Sayers spinning at the finish line, having to obviously go backwards across the line in the end. Matt Boyd rounding out the top 20. Then it's Wayne Tan, Xander Stewart, Mark Hurley, Matt Donetti will finish 5 laps down in the end and just be classified, I believe, by meeting the 16 lap minimum lap distance. And then Andre Sheppers finishes in 24. So there are your race results. Guy Farmer, Bowen Piper, Josh Gordon, and Hagstrom not classified at the end of that one as well. Let's jump back to our results screen. There we go, folks. What an evening of racing. That was very, very action-packed, John, and I'm looking forward to getting some drivers' opinions on just what they thought of the racing out there tonight.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, we did mention it several times at the start. Donington is a tight, twisty, tricky, very technical track, and it absolutely proved to be the case tonight, and it was very much a case of survival. And an important one as well for the drivers, bringing home the points that they did, because the Hungaro ring, or Hungaro train, as I unaffectionately call it, it's even more difficult to get an overtake done around that course. So bringing home the points this week, absolutely vital. Saw some absolutely solid performances. A few drivers fall by the wayside at the end, but an ill wind that blows nobody some good. Certainly Toward, Hutton and Barton, recipients of a little bit of good luck, as Riley Nicholson saw himself off at turn number 1 and drop himself out with that podium battle. That could have been just that little bit more spicy in the last few laps if he was still in there. Certainly, Dernetti, of course, returning champion, having a night he will be more than happy to forget as quickly as possible. After the lack of points that he's brought home tonight. So he'll be fired up for next week. But certainly Simmons, Bishop and Struick in that pro podium. What a performance they've put on. And Simmons has been absolutely flawless tonight. A great points haul, pole position in both sets, in both qualies, and back-to-back race wins, Isaac. That is how you get it done.
It certainly is. And we're now going to have a chat to some drivers about what they thought of the action this evening. I'll hand over to you, John, to chat to our first man. It is our Pro-Am victor, Michael Toward. And John, I'll hand it over to you to have a chat to him.
Yes, thank you very much, Isaac. Good evening, Michael. That was an interesting night here at Donington. He brought home a very good race win, and I imagine it was a bit of a sweaty race win because the rest of the podium in the Pro-Ams certainly keeping you company in the closing stages, and all three of you finishing within the top 7. So very good performance tonight.
That certainly made up for my first race with the. I thought I qualified pretty good in the first one, and absolutely just went absolute shit in the first in the start, and just went backwards and kept going. And I think I finished like 12th or 13th, so it was probably good. I just thought I was done for the night then. But yeah, that was great fun. I just wanted to qualify really fast and try and get a better start, and it worked. But yeah, it was certainly under a lot of pressure. And I could see everyone coming, and I was trying to not watch the mirrors and see what would happen.
Indeed, yeah. Apologies for the language here, folks. The drivers do get hyped up. We will keep it nice and clean so we don't get jumped off of YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, Michael getting himself a bit excited. But as you say, race 1, it didn't quite go the way you'd planned. So race 2, talk to us about Donington. We spoke briefly to Matt Simmons about the course itself. This course is... it's a challenge like not many others out there, with it being so tight and twisty and such a killer on the tyres. How did you find the course itself tonight?
I absolutely like that. It's really narrow. You seem to have to hit every turn in and braking point spot on, and the car, like, you're constantly sliding. Some corners I was just like, do I leave it up a gear? Do I go down a gear? It just has to be really smooth. Going through that chicane on the back straight, I think that many times when that brake marker was gone, I always used that in between that first and second brake marker, and the second one was gone, and it messed me up a few times. It's really difficult, but great fun.
Indeed, yeah. I think as Matt said, it's really difficult, but when you get it right, you really do get it right, and it's very, very, very satisfying. We've got the Hungaroring up next. That is an insanely difficult track to get an overtake on. How are you looking forward to next time out in Hungary?
I have not even thought of that, but yeah, absolutely, you're right. We've got 3 really interesting tracks, from the enduro to this one that's tight, and then straight into another tight track that's, it should be, we'll have to just qualify well again, I think, and just try and put the head down, and maybe I'll have to turn the mirror off and just keep going.
That is a lesson I wish I was able to learn back in the day. Yeah, turning off that mirror, it definitely saves a few bullets being sweated out. Well, Michael, congratulations on bringing home a race win tonight. Some very, very good points. And as a Pro-Am finishing in the top 5, an absolutely phenomenal performance. So congratulations for tonight, and best of luck for you and the team for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much, Johnny and Isaac. I much appreciate it. And thank you, AGT.
Yeah, there we go then. Michael Toward bringing home the win. Isaac, who do we have joining us in the commentary box next?
I am going to now have a chat to our third place man, John, which is Josh Struick. Josh, welcome into the booth, mate. First of all, two fairly exciting races for you. You were fairly busy the whole time. A little bit different. The first one obviously ended fairly abruptly. You got to see the race to conclusion. How are you feeling after this evening with those pretty close battles for the podium?
Disappointed, to be honest. I had pace for a lot more than where I finished. I think my race pace was better than my quali pace by a little bit. So it was just really hard to pass, and Simon just knows exactly where to put the car, unfortunately.
Yeah, it certainly looked like he was very hard to pass out there. We were talking about that in the booth, just how difficult he's making it. Talk about, racing. Simon is a fairly experienced operator. Is it stressful? Is it fun? How are you feeling in that situation? Like, what's it like racing against him?
I mean, the racing itself is good. The fact that I had more pace and I couldn't get past was frustrating. So yeah, a little bit of it was fun, but it was a lot of frustration because I really wanted to challenge Matt Simmons at the front for the win. I think I had the pace alongside him to have a good battle with him as well.
Yeah, well, talk to us about you said it's difficult to try and get past. Talk to us about the nature of this circuit. Obviously, it's fairly fast flowing. It's very narrow. What exactly, obviously, we've just listed a couple of things, but what exactly for you makes it so difficult to pass at a circuit like Donington?
Just coming up to like braking zones, there's like you've got that chicane, which is hard to stay close to people, like into the last sector. The high-speed sort of chicane where you have to launch the curbs. It's very hard to stay close there because you can't really see exactly where the corner is. So then it's hard to get close for that final sector. And also in that final sector, if you're on the inside for one, you're then on the outside for the other, so you can't really pass there either. It just makes it hard to actually complete the move, and then they get that inside for the next corner.
It seems to be a lot of that this evening, as you said. So someone gets the run onto the hairpin, and then you get back to the final corner, and they've got the inside line. So there's a lot of that happening up and down the field, which certainly made it look challenging. Listen, we got Hungaroring next week, so we're going back to back weeks in terms of racing. How are you feeling about that? Obviously, another narrow track, a track that's hard to pass. It's an hour race, so pit stop factors into that. You're looking at, you think qualifying will probably be the most important factor there, getting a good qualifying spot to secure your position in the race?
Less so than today. I think it will be easier to pass, especially when you've got like a big long straight. Like you actually have like a decent straight where you can get at some slipstream, and then passing in turn one. Generally, you can do some outside moves and switchbacks. So I think it will be better for passing, and but like the middle sector and towards the end of the lap is pretty tight, but it's wider than here.
Yeah, well, look, it's going to be interesting, that's for sure. It was a lot of fun watching you work around that battle with Simon. It certainly kept us very, very entertained throughout the second race. Look, congratulations, mate. You extend your championship lead. And we'll look forward to seeing what you can do next time out as we get towards the pointy end of the season at the Hungaroring.
Cool, thank you.
There we go, Josh Struick there. And look, I think the summary is very difficult to pass at Donington. And let's get the man that held him off for quite a number of laps. And I'll hand over to you to have a chat to our favourite Kiwi, John Wright. We have Simon Bishop in the booth to have a chat to you.
Excellent stuff. Good evening, Simon. An interesting evening at the office for you, bringing home the race. Fastest lap in race number 2, along with that second podium spot. And as we've heard there, kept Josh Struick exceptionally frustrated with your exceptional defensive abilities. How much did you enjoy race 2 there?
It was good. Yeah, I felt like I turned like the 4th or 5th fastest car into P2 twice, so I was pretty happy with that, ignoring my fastest lap because I don't know where that came from. But yeah, I bet it was annoying for him because he spent all day behind me. But I just knew that if I drove in a certain way and I didn't make any mistakes, and it was going to be pretty hard to pass. And then he had one go at it, but it just didn't work out. But anytime you do that, it's pretty good. I've had plenty of times when I've had fast cars and crashed out, so it was good to have one that wasn't so great, but to still get something out of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, to say get something out of it, back-to-back second places, that's it's no mean feat. The Audi itself, it looked a lot of fun to drive around here. he says tongue in cheek. But yeah, you're saying yourself it was about the 4th or 5th fastest car around here. So what were your expectations going into the race?
Well, I was pretty bad last round, so I was kind of hoping that I'd be a little bit better than that. I just couldn't get it together at Watkins Glen. Obviously, I missed the enduro as well, but then in practice, me and Matt Donetti were pretty close pace-wise, so I felt like I'd be all right. I don't think we had the speed of what Josh and Matt had, but yeah, I just kind of knew if I stayed on, it would be all right. I knew if I could get in front, I could just block the entire way home, and if I could have just got ahead of Matt Simmons, I probably would have done the same, but I'll still take second. It was all right. The car was fine. Like, it was okay to drive, and it was fast enough, clearly, but just missing a tiny bit.
Right, and very quickly, do you think the battle that you were having with Struick, do you think having to defend so long from Struick stopped you catching up to Simmons, or was Simmons just that much quicker today?
Oh, I think he had it easy over me anyway. I think that Josh would have given him a run for his money if he could have got past me, but our car was good for 3 or 4 laps and it dropped off a wee bit. But yeah, no, I wasn't gonna, on pure pace, I wasn't going to get near Matt. But I mean, he drove a perfect race too, so it was good. I mean, I was there if he made a mistake or he had a bit of bad luck, I was there, but just never happened.
Indeed, yeah. Well, I mean, certainly playing the team game, BCG 1 and 2, and fending off your main championship rival, CP, into 3rd place. As we've mentioned, we've got the Hungaroring next week. We do have the long straight for overtakes into turn number 1. Other than that, it is a fairly tight course. How are you looking forward to that one?
I don't know how good our car's going to be, but one thing's for sure, I'm going to be a pain in the ass to somebody there as well, because if they get stuck behind me through all the bendy bits, they're not going to get past. But I'm looking forward to the Paul Ricard round after that with the massive straight. That'll be fun, but we'll just kind of get as much as I can out of next week, and then we'll go from there, I think.
Yeah, nice. Well, that sounds like a strategy we are very much going to look forward to watching next week. But until then, yeah, congratulations ringing in your ears. Back-to-back 2nd places here at Deadly Donington. Not too shabby a showing, and a great display by the team as well. So congratulations, Mr. Bishop, and we shall see you next week.
You will. Thank you kindly.
Here we go, Isaac. Mr. Simon Bishop. What a display. And yeah, I like that strategy. Just be a pain in the rear end to everyone else, and it'll bring home great things. Can't argue with that.
Absolutely. Cannot argue with that at all. It was a very effective strategy. It worked a treat. So congratulations to Simon Bishop for doing, and I look forward to seeing him do it again next week to whoever is the unfortunate soul that's stuck behind him, because he's going to be a nightmare to pass once again. He always is. Which provides a great amount of action for us to tune in and watch along with. But it now comes time to have another chat to the man that went back-to-back this evening. He said he fluked it in race number 1. It certainly wasn't a fluke in race 2. Pole, led every lap, and the victory. Matt Simmons, congratulations, mate. That's 3 race wins in a row coming back from the Nürburgring for you, and you're in some really good form.
Cheers, Isaac. Yeah, that second race really went well. Quali was awesome. I was able to do my best lap of the night, so I think I carried that high into the race, and learned from race 1 how to bring the tyres in better. So as soon as I sort of got into the lead, turn 1, I was able just to bring the tyres up nicely and fall into a good rhythm and build an early lead. And then I saw there was a good battle happening behind me, so naturally the lead grew a bit easier that way. And then the last sort of five or so laps, I kind of just made sure I hit my marks, and car was really nice in that second race. So I was really happy to get the 2 wins tonight.
Yeah, it's, look, taking nothing away from you, but I think that battle behind Simon making that Audi as wide as possible certainly helped. Geesh said he felt like he probably definitely had the pace to catch up to you if he could get past Simon, but Simon made that pretty much impossible. You looked fairly in control out there in that second race. The car looked like it felt like it looked like it was on rails for you. You were fairly in control. Did you feel any major issues at all with the tyre wear or anything in that race, or was it sort of just all smooth sailing?
Yeah, to be honest, it was probably one of my better races of the season. I know I've had some wins already, but that was probably my most complete race. Didn't really make any mistakes. Car ran really well the whole whole race. Didn't feel any tyre wear, nothing. So yeah, it was really nice to finish it off. I feel for Josh. I've been there before, stuck behind Simon, and he definitely knows how to place his car, and it is very frustrating in a lovable way. I think I don't know how that works, but yeah, it's it makes it for obviously entertaining viewing. So hopefully everyone enjoyed that battle, and yeah, it was. I tried to not look at the gaps at the wrong time, so that was I started figuring that out nicely, so I didn't make my own mistake.
Yeah, we saw a few drivers making mistakes this evening, cars going off the road. It's a very narrow circuit, so certainly easy to do. Look, we've got the Hungaroring next week. I did make the unfortunate announcement earlier on that you won't be able to make the final round. We've unfortunately timed it that your holiday ends one day after we go racing for the decider. But we hopefully will have you company for at least the next 2 rounds, because you're looking really strong in the championship. You moved up to 3rd after the Nürburgring, and the performance tonight, you've solidified P3 in the championship. So you're looking in a really strong position. How are you feeling heading into next week at the Hungaroring? Track you've probably, again, like the Nürburgring, probably done laps at in real life. So you should be fairly confident heading there, I would imagine.
We'll see. Yeah, it's a shame I missed the first round now, because I feel like I would have been up there. I would have felt even harder not missing the last round, but no, that's all right. Yeah, I've had some cracker races at Hungaroring. It's really tough though, needing to set up these cars, especially the MR cars, with handling the curbs. So I think it's going to take a bit to get out the Porsche into the right window, so it's hitting those curbs nicely. But other than that, it should go well. I mean, we've been pretty strong in most races this year or this season. So yeah, again, it's always competitive. You've got to absolutely nail qualifying and get track position at Hungaroring, because it's so hard to pass. So yeah, we'll see how qualifying pans out, and hopefully the race is entertaining for everyone.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Well, we look forward to seeing you next week, Matty. Maybe, I don't want to jinx it, but maybe looking at 4 from 4 if you keep your pace going the way that you have been. Congratulations, mate. Two in a row tonight, 3 on the trot. It's been absolutely mega to see you back at the top of the leaderboard where you belong, and we look forward to seeing what you can do next week at Hungaroring.
I appreciate it, guys. Just Isaac, please hold up on the commentator's curse, mate. I really
sorry, mate. I'll try not to. No, thank you very much,
Thanks,
mate.
guys.
We'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Matt Simmons there. It's I'll try not to give him the commentator's curse. That's the last thing I want to do to poor Matty. Josh, he's been in fine form recently, and we're looking forward to seeing him continue that form next week. But wow, what an evening of racing we had, John, and I'll get your thoughts on just what you made of the action we had here at Donington tonight, because there certainly was plenty of it.
Oh yeah, I mean, the 2 things that we can confirm: Donington doesn't disappoint, and Donington doesn't care who you are, where you are, what car you're in. Returning champion, class leader, no monkeys given by the track here at Donington. It is the great equaliser all on its own. We don't even need rain here at this track. And again, AGT drivers putting it absolutely on the line with some outstanding performances, some absolute highs for some of the drivers, and some real lows as well. I mean, Riley Nicholson, you got the feel for him again. Finishing in 5th position after leading class in the 2nd race. We had the server disconnect in race number 1, which denied us a couple of battles and potentially a few position changes. Our returning champion finishing outside the top 10 in race number 2, but Matt Simmons proving once again to be absolutely outstanding when he's up in front of the field, and Simon Bishop proving to be the most frustratingly lovable man on the planet, it seems, because no one can get past him. But I tell you what, I'm going to get my hands on the drivers next weekend, because it really must be interesting being stuck behind Bishop. I mean, the amount you could learn, not that Struick and Simmons certainly I've got much learning to do in that, but yeah, what you could learn sitting behind someone like that and their defensive prowess could be absolutely game-changing for us mere mortals. So yeah, one to study. But yeah, Donington, absolutely incredible once again, Isaac. The AGT racing, incredible once again. And Hungaroring, oh, that's going to be some turn one.
It certainly is going to be sometime one. This is the information you need to know for next Friday, the 17th of May. We go racing again. 20-minute qualifying session and a 60-minute race. Pit stop will be required, and the weather, once again, will be variable. So looking forward to your company then. But that is all we have time for this evening. We thank you so much once again for tuning in and letting us know your thoughts and feelings throughout the evening. It's great to see so many people in the chat and getting involved. If you like what you see and you want to see more, head over to our YouTube channel. There's plenty of past streams and even some GT7 action for you to tune into and watch along. And if you have a league and you want to get some broadcasting done, you think this looks pretty good, I want to get some broadcasting of my own, head over to www.trackspot.tv for all your broadcasting needs. And George and John are very, very willing to have a conversation and help you get set up. And if you're a budding commentator, head over there as well. We'd love to have some more commentators on board. We have plenty of series that we broadcast throughout the week with plenty of action for you to call. So make sure you jump over, get involved, and we thank them for their support. John, we thank you as well this evening for coming along. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to having you back next week. And I look forward to having every one of you that's tuned in back next week as well. But for now, it is stay safe. Goodbye. We'll see you very soon. Have a good one. Good night.
Been trying to change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight.